My school does talk about exam stress, however it just stresses me out even more.
I don't think they talk about it.
They tell us how to revise,
but it's like really brief and it's not helpful.
Don't think they understand
because they do put the pressure on you that makes you stressed.
They aren't very informative.
I don't know.
Our school is not supportive, like, at all with exam stress. Like, there's certain teachers who really have helped me, and but in the same way, like, they're just not very understanding and caring about it. Like, I think they're so focused on us getting the grades that they don't see like how we're feeling inside.
We don't really particularly talk about exam stress unless you want to go and talk to someone about it. But I think they give us really good advice to kind of stop us stressing revision wise. So they will give us tips and techniques which we can kind of use to help us along the way with our exams coming up.
They give us assemblies on it and stuff. There's obviously like different teachers that are more approachable than others, different teachers that you can go to if you have worries or concerns. It's definitely something that needs talked about more, because exam stress can cause a lot of mental health, especially among students in year 11 and year 13.
We do have a few assemblies about exam stress with a few general tips, however they aren't very informative, and there isn't a very good support network in school if you are suffering quite badly with exam stress and it is affecting your mental health.
At this time of the year, exam stress is emphasized on. Like, every morning we go into our registration and we have like these slides that our teachers put together to help us cope with whatever it may be. Maybe anxiety, maybe you're tired. They just teach us how to deal with it. Like, they give us tips.
They talk about exams all the time, obviously, but exam stress, I only know a couple of teachers that have spoken to me about that, and maybe we've had like 2-3 assemblies.
College somewhat tells you how to deal with your exam stress, but then at the same time they then pile on work and are like, if you don't do it by this time you're going to fail your exams. So they kind of contradict themselves sometimes, but they do try and help.
they give us exams, but they don't really like teach us how to cope with the stress. They tell us how to revise and they give us help on revising, but they don't actually give us any help on the stress.
I think more individual teachers talk about it more than the school itself. Like, my media teacher is so thoughtful when it comes to it. He recognises that everyone's under a lot of stress, has a lot of homework. So say we don't finish the homework for his class, he knows that we're not doing it on purpose. It's just we had a load of stuff to do.
Our school talks about exam stress all the time, however it just stresses me out even more. They always bring people in and they just say the same things all the time. I feel like if they're going to talk about exam stresses, they need to kind of look at the big picture, because everything they say why not to get stressed is a reason that they stress us out. So it's kind of very hypocritical of always what they say. It's all fine, but yeah, they do try and help us. They've got like a after school thing on Monday, which only some people are invited to. However, we have other commitments.
Our school doesn't really talk about exam stress anymore. Obviously, if you have any issues, then they always say that we're allowed to go and speak to them and have conversations about revision techniques and things, but I definitely think exam stress is spoken about more lower down the school.
I think they kind of just assume that obviously we're all not like finding school a breeze, and they know that, but they don't necessarily address it. They just kind of say like, you know, it is what it is, etc. I think everyone's stressed, including probably the teachers.
So my school has tried to like give like lots of assemblies and like people that come in to talk about exam stress, and like I think just the main message is just to like stay calm, because you have to remember that everyone else is in the same boat. Like, I'm in year 11 and I'm quite worried about my exams, but then I think actually all my friends are going through it at the same time, so like it's just nice that you can have other people to lean on.
My school does touch on exam stress, but it's like really brief and it's not helpful, if I'm being completely honest. It's one of those generic ones, so I just don't really find them useful. Yeah, there's been like PSHE lessons and exam stress, but I just don't think it's useful because it's just not something that is very focused on in school anyway. It's very much, you know, revise, get your head down, get the exam done. If you're revising well, you shouldn't be stressed, that kind of mentality, but it's not true.
They do speak about preparing and how you can make it better for you. They always say don't do too much work at the same time. You have to give yourself that balance and relaxing. But I feel like they only may pay attention to people that they expect to be stressed and may not pay attention to like everyone.
They spoke about it a lot in year 12 and quite a lot up to Christmas. And then past Christmas, they haven't really spoken too much about it. I think they're kind of just assuming that we have heard everything that they've said and are just getting on with it.
They even gave us like these little booklets about how to meditate and just basically breathe. So yeah, I'm really happy my school does that, and they're definitely there to support us. There's things like counsellors available to you, and you can definitely go to any of your teachers just in case if you're scared. It's like a normal thing. It's not something to be afraid of.
Exam time can be challenging. If you're finding it difficult to cope, follow the links in the description for information on the support available.